people get very caught up in selling, and I've been in sales and I've had quotas and I understand it. And those are awesome things to have. I also think you still have to be authentic. And so there's a lot of ways for people to be pretty successful. And then there's ways that people can get stuck and sabotage themselves too. But my main thing is, I think it's just important to continue to learn and show up the best you can every day.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Regan, and today we're joined by Yvonne Ravad. Yvonne is a leadership and career consultant, an executive coach, and the founder of Corporate Directions Plus. She's based in San Diego, and Yvonne brings decades of experience helping mid to senior level leaders across industries from high tech and biotech to pharma, entertainment, and finance create what she calls the new next chapter. Yvonne's approach blends career strategy, executive branding, and leadership development with deep expertise in hiring, talent transitions, and global team integration. She's certified in the Harrison Assessment and known for helping VPs, senior managers, and C-suite leaders gain clarity, boost confidence, and lead with impact across cultures and industries. And it's a pleasure for me to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Yvonne.
Thank you very much, Regan. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
It's a pleasure for us, Yvonne. So tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach and then start your own coaching business.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I probably have always wanted to be a coach since I was young, and I have done a lot of careers in the process of getting a little bit older. So I would say it's just been a journey for me. And I think that I really am a believer that people have experiences that happen and then they get to continue to grow from those. So for me, the ability to just have people feel connected, to have the ability to be living their best life in terms of having purpose, passion, joy, love, like all those things are really important to me. And we spend a lot of time at work. So I tended to focus on work for people, and work can look very different today than it did maybe 20 or 30 years ago when people were getting into work. So that's why I call it the new next chapter, because we don't always know what our new next chapter will be.
Yeah. And how long has it been since you started your own coaching business and you've been running it on your own privately?
Yeah, I actually do what I call a portfolio career, or kind of gig work in a way, because I have my own company and I also consult with some leadership organizations, and it has been an opportunity for me to get better at coaching. It was a relatively new thing for me, even though I've been a leader and a manager and done a lot of different things in my work history. So for me, I work with some other organizations to just up level my game a little bit. And so I'm at a point now where my background in recruiting and hiring and managing and working from Fortune 100s to small mom and pop kind of 50-person companies really helps me help people decide what is important for them next. And also more recently, I also help people with their own consulting or businesses.
And we did mention it a little bit on the intro that you're working with VPs, senior managers, C-suite leaders. Do you also happen to work also with their teams, or you just work one-on-one on your coaching?
Right now, I'm mostly doing one-on-one. I do some group coaching and some team leadership. Right now I'm learning. I'm a learner, so I'm always learning, and there's a lot of coach training going on right now. So I would work with teams. I have led teams. I think it's really important to have engagement and like overall company culture, and having people be really fulfilled in their work as well as everything else is really important to me. So whatever I can do to help that happen for an organization and an individual is really a passion of mine.
And when it comes to like you finding these people or them finding you, where do you see that marketing channel that's working best for you right now?
Yeah, I am very old school. Like I'm very much like referrals. Like I get referrals. Like I got like 3 new clients from someone I worked with last year, and people will say, "Hey, you should talk to Yvonne," and they'll meet with me. And that is generally how I get a lot of my clients. And I would say I've also been doing a few different things just to become stronger in the work that I do. So I would say I have done a lot of practice and study with a wide range of people and lots of different trainings. And I think we get into that a little bit later, but primarily I get referrals and I do some marketing on Insta, or LinkedIn is probably my primary source for clients as well.
And how are you utilizing LinkedIn? Is there some strategy that's going on there, or mostly people are just finding you organically on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I've been a little bit organic and I have a sales background. So I know that's not always the best way, but I like to reach out. Pick up the phone, call someone, talk to them, meet with them if possible. People will reach out to me on LinkedIn and people connect me on LinkedIn. And I do use it to, potentially support people or connect with people if they might be someone who would be good to work with me.
And just moving away from marketing a little bit, wanted to ask you, how does the short to mid-term future look like with your coaching business? Do you have any goals that you're currently looking towards or you're working towards with your coaching business? Anything coming up?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of things. The timing was really good. Like I'm doing a executive leadership kind of brand and purpose class next week. And that is just a super basic intro, $49 to just get an intro on really reconnecting or maybe revising who you are, what you do, why you. And then I'm also doing a reimagine your future class in July. It's a 5-week class, not a ton of time, but enough time for people who are looking to make a pivot or maybe not satisfied with things to really work together to accomplish new things in the rest of 2025.
And so you mentioned class. How does that look like? Is that there's a few number of sessions involved? How does that differentiate from a workshop, for example?
Yeah, I'm calling it a class. I guess you could say it would be a workshop too. It is a 5-week, regular 5 weeks, once a week meetings, and then an opportunity to do kind of one-on-one meeting as well. But it's a class and it has a curriculum in terms of just the basics of, again, brand, purpose, who you are, what you do, why you. That's I call it my 3 W's. That's kind of I'm very passionate. People are very clear and can speak to that for whatever they want next.
And how do you get people to come into the class? For example, how do you get people to sign up or show up?
Mostly word of mouth right now. I have some people. I have been working for a long time. I have a lot of connections. I've sent several emails to people, and I'm keeping this small. I'm not looking to have hundreds of people. I'm looking to have a small group of 12 people for this class. It's a beta test in a sense for me because I have been doing this work for a long time, and I'm now really ready to offer some different opportunities for people to work with me. Maybe not just one-on-one coaching.
I see. So basically you have your network, you have your list of emails, and you're just emailing them, letting them know about the class, and then they will
We're calling them, we're texting them, we're saying, hey, do you want to do this? And who do you know who might want to do it? I'm big on sharing.
Cool, great, awesome. And another question I wanted to ask you, since there's many years of experience of you working, what has been a very good investment that you put money on, either on yourself, on skills, or on the coaching business that you feel that actually helped the business grow? That could be any coaching programs, masterminds, communities, or anything else that you feel actually helped the business grow.
I think always our own self-development is really helpful for whatever we're doing next. And I have invested in some, what I call more holistic coaching, mentor programs that have been really good for me. I've really done a lot with a lot of professional coaching, used to be called UBEX, now it's coaching.com. So I take all those classes. I've learned from everyone from Marshall Goldsmith to Peter Drucker to all these different leaders, Simon Sinek. There's a lot of people who have awesome information out there on transformation and change and achieving goals at work. So I do definitely study both the professional and some of what I call the more holistic personal, what's in the way, who are you really? There's a lot that can be uncovered as people maybe decide what they have now isn't what they want going forward. So I could name Derek Rydell is one of my favorite coaches. He has a very successful business, but he's also really holistic, and it's very much coming from a place of you're awesome and amazing, and what do you want next? So I love that style of helping people achieve that.
Cool. Thanks for mentioning all of that. So, yeah, well, I'm always trying to dig into the podcast and trying to find what are some good investments that coaches are making that they have been happy from making those investments. So, thanks so much for sharing that. And another thing I wanted to discuss with you is in terms of challenges, what is one big challenge that you're trying to solve for next? Or maybe it's a challenge that's been for a while.
I think for me, and this is often true for some of my clients, like I have a really good sales and marketing background for products and services. And it's very different when you are the product and service. So there was like a definite mindset shift for me to get comfortable and confident with that, even though it's been something I probably have been doing for a very long time. So I think that was probably the biggest thing. And often mindset is a big challenge that people need to overcome, or I think it's great to focus on strengths. I also think it's really good to know what your areas of opportunities are, your weaknesses, because then you can really make an action plan to address them. I don't know if that answers your question.
That does answer the question, absolutely. And you'd say that right now, something that you're trying to solve for, what would that be that you're trying to solve in like short to medium term?
Yeah. So the reason I got into coaching was to just impact more people as much as I can. So for me, trying to solve is like, how do I impact more people most effectively? And as many maps and roadmaps and things that are out there, they're generally good frameworks, but I also feel like there's a human connection. There's everyone's a unique individual. So I always like to bring in different tools depending on what people are needing and wanting that can support them. So the challenge is always reach. I think reach is important.
Do you find it challenging that sometimes I know you're working with a referral network, so potentially might not be the issue with you, but a lot of coaches that I've had on the podcast as well have raised the issue that there's a lot of people that don't necessarily believe in the value of coaching or feel like, or you would get someone that says, I think I can figure this out on my own. Like, why would I need the help? How do you help them if you ever get people like this? How do you help them understand the real value of coaching?
That's a really great question. And I mean, the people who don't appreciate coaching probably aren't great coaching clients. Honestly, like you have to have a little bit of open mindedness. And for me, it's all about a win for my clients. And obviously, like I think it's really important. There has to be an opportunity. Like this is going to kind of go back to sales 101. Like there has to be a need. There has to be something that isn't working that they are willing to put out there that they need help on. And sometimes people aren't always ready for that. But I generally think you have to know what is going on, what they really need. You can't sell if there's not something that's identified where people have a gap or something they really know they need help with.
Interesting. So basically, if someone is not interested or is not very fond of coaching, you would say that you wouldn't be very pushy with them, or you wouldn't necessarily try to show them the value in case they don't see it.
I have worked with a lot of people and not everyone is the right person for me. And that's something you learn after coaching for a long time. And even though many people say you can coach almost anyone, I have met a few people that I would be like, okay, you're not a good client for me. So I try to be really specific on that. However, I think like there's this idea that we can help everyone, and I'm somewhat like that. I do think I can bring a lot of value to a lot of people, but I also think it's helpful to kind of stay in your lane and not try to get everybody and help everyone, even though certainly I always appreciate opportunities to support and also earn income, but that's not really why I do it. I do it because I just think it's really important to be living awesome lives.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And is there any final advice you'd like to give to other coaches who are trying to scale their impact?
Yeah, I actually like thought about this question because you did share this. I think for me, like the things that if I had to put it into like 5 points, it would be, get help, like build a community. Like it's very lonely being a solopreneur and entrepreneur. And the second thing that I felt like was super helpful is just finding your voice and your tribe, like really getting that very clear and knowing it and going for it is really important. And then, you have to know your metrics. You have to stay connected to who you are also and kind of always stay connected to your why. And then people get very caught up in selling, and I've been in sales and I've had quotas and I understand it. And those are awesome things to have. I also think you still have to be authentic. And so there's a lot of ways for people to be pretty successful. And then there's ways that people can get stuck and sabotage themselves too. But my main thing is, I think it's just important to continue to learn and show up the best you can every day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And for anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can go into LinkedIn and they'll find you at Yvonne Ravad. Is there any other way they could reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a website, corporatedirectionsplus.com, and you can email me. My information is on LinkedIn. I'd be honored to talk with anyone who is interested in collaborating, or obviously any ways that I can support someone. I have found that what goes around comes around, so I love to help others.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Jojen. It's been a pleasure.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.